watch the breakdown.
Welcome back to another edition of In Focus with Drones Road Productions, where we guide you on all things video marketing for small to medium-sized businesses in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Damn, I nailed it. How good am I? We're back on the mic. Tash, it's been a while. It's been a minute.
It's good to be back, isn't it? Season 2.
It is. We've been away. We obviously, people probably
update
don't know.
Update the listeners. What
We
have we
got
been
married?
doing?
Can we say that?
Yeah.
We're a partnership.
Yeah, we got
Life
married.
Life partners and business partners.
We got married. We moved into a new office. We've been here for 6 months.
Yeah, we've got some new surroundings.
Yeah.
We're just testing it out, see if it works. Quick one for everyone watching. Is it better to have the microphones hidden or shown? I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to ask the people.
Yeah, see what
Does
they
it
think.
feel more conversational to not have them in the way, so to speak? It does feel a bit weird just talking out loud like this without the headphones on.
Yeah,
It's almost like I know that you're a very confident person, but for me it's a bit of a security blanket, you know? Anyway,
so yeah.
my insecurities.
So quite a lot's changed. We're married, we've got a new office. Things have changed massively, I think, in the video landscape, so that's going to be exciting to touch on for season 2.
Yes, it is. We've got some content that's going to be rolling out
honestly,
in season 2.
So much to talk about. But what we're going to talk about today, Ben?
Today we are talking about long form content versus short form content.
Oh, that's a big debate, isn't it? That's going to get the listeners burning.
Yeah. I guess I know what we mean by long form and short form. Long form being anything longer than, what, a minute?
Yeah.
Probably even 30 seconds?
Yeah, a minute.
A minute? And short form, anything under that, but more specifically, probably 15, 20 second, your TikToks, your Reels.
Yeah, absolutely.
That kind of thing.
Do you know what's really interesting is that short form content used to be kind of anything under 10 minutes. Like that used to be what was considered short form content, like not even that long ago.
What, 1960?
Under 10 minutes. And now it's, really under anything under 2 minutes is short form content.
Yeah, I guess this brings me to my first point, when it comes to portraying a message in video content, depending on what platform you're going to put the content on will dictate, how long your video needs to be. But it must be so hard to get your message across in 15 seconds.
Taking a step back here, and I always say this, probably say it on every podcast, but I say it with every conversation I have with a client is, what's your objective? Before we talk about how long our video should be, that should be secondary.
Yeah.
It's first of all going, actually, what is our objective and what are we trying to deliver? Is it brand awareness? Do we need really short 15-second clips that people can watch on social media that's just going to actually get us in front of people? Or are we at the consideration stage and actually we need people to understand a little bit more about the business or the brand or the product or whatever it might be, and therefore we need more time, and a 15-second brand awareness video is not just going to cut it. So before you kind of get into what length of video, what platforms, take it back, what's our objective, why are we doing this video in the first place?
I think what's also important to acknowledge is that for a lot of the clients that we work with, they don't have huge budgets where they can be shooting stuff, big brand videos or 15-second videos all the time. So I think what's really valuable is if they shoot something like a brand story or a customer testimonial or a product video, they can have that longer form content, but then they can also chop it down to bite size, making it multi-purpose.
100%, and that's what we advise with everyone, with all of our clients, is get your long form content, and then it should be multi-purpose. So you should be using it for your website, for your brand story, whatever that might be, but also getting use out of it by cutting it down. But I think what's interesting is that now we've got this, I say this all the time, but the platforms have really, I suppose, given us this, the platforms have dictated the length of our videos. So if you think about it, we've got the invention of Reels. We can't boost anything over 60 seconds. They're dictating to us how long our video should be, right? Not your message, not your brand, not, the story. It's this platforms, which I have a real bugbear with. Sorry for listening, Instagram.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Zuckerberg's something here. Mark, if you're listening, mate.
Mark, if you're listening, honestly. But we are dictated to, right? Because at the end of the day, we want our videos to be seen and we want our message to be communicated. And if we are told that a 15-second or a 30-second video is going to deliver that and it's going to better perform on these platforms, then that's why we create them. If we were told that everyone watches 3-minute videos, we'd be creating 3-minute videos, right? So it's a feedback loop. It's being told, okay, this is the audience viewership, this is what they're watching, this is how long they engage or don't engage for, and that's why we're making these videos, which, you know.
That's a really interesting point you've stumbled across there, Tash. Got a question for you.
Yeah.
How long do you think is the longest duration you can post on TikTok? What's the longest video you can put up?
I think it's up to 5 minutes now.
30 minutes. Now, what's the longest video you can post on Instagram?
A minute.
60 minutes. What's the longest video you can post on Facebook?
Oh, God. A movie?
4 hours.
Yeah, a movie.
And YouTube, 12 months,
Yeah.
basically. But what's interesting is that TikTok have shifted their mindset. They want people to post longer form videos now. They've gone from, 60 seconds? I think there was 2022, they went up to 10 minutes? And just recently they've boosted it out to 30 minutes.
So again, okay, so now you've got
So
the
they're
same
trying
thing.
to push people into longer form.
Well, because then they're on their platform for longer, right? That's an obvious one. So they're on their platform for longer because they are watching longer videos, which is fine. But you're also thinking about our attention span, which I think was something like, 20 years ago, we had 12 seconds. So we had 12 seconds to make a decision, decide whether we were going to watch something or not. It's now down to 8. So we've lost 4 seconds in 20 years. So in another 20 years, what is it going to be, 4 seconds?
What you've just said there isn't actually correct.
Okay, why?
TikTok have done the research, they've done the data mining, and they said that over half of the watch time on TikTok is on videos longer than a minute.
But what type of videos, right? Because the thing is that the nature
It doesn't
of
really matter, does it?
Well, the nature of TikTok is a lot of a day in the life. So people will sit and watch a day in the life for
This is
90
your chick
seconds.
that does the cleaning and the...
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're doing a day in the life, then you're more likely to watch 90 seconds, right? What I'm talking about is brands who are putting out a message about a product or something like that. You know, they're kind of different videos. You're talking about what a lot of TikTok users, there's a lot of users on TikTok. A lot of the content on TikTok is a day in the life. This is my morning routine. This is what I do. They're quite long, okay, but they're not.
How long are those ones? I'm not really in that funnel.
They can be up to 3 minutes, 100%. And I'll watch the 3 minutes of someone's morning routine on a Friday. Yeah, I will, because I'm interested. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that from a video marketing perspective, I'm talking about a branded video, not an influencer, right? Like I'm talking about a branded video.
Yeah.
Not saying that there's no correlation there, but yeah, I think they're different.
And I think what's going to be the underlying key theme to this podcast is that if you can create a short video that perks interest, they've also said that people will then go and watch a longer form video of the same thing if they're interested in it.
Well, look, I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times.
Say it again.
For all the listeners out there, you should be doing both. We need short form content and long form content. Get your 20-second, 30-second video out there to garner that brand awareness, to get your points across really quickly and just give people a taste or a flavour of what you can offer. That can be then followed through to a website where then maybe you have a beautiful brand story about who you are, why you created the business, and people can actually buy into you. Because let's not forget, everyone, why do we buy? We buy based on emotion and we buy on trust, okay? There are many reasons we buy, but that is the primary reason why we purchase something, okay? It has to be credible and it has to build trust. It is very hard to build trust over 15 seconds on a TikTok, okay? Yeah. It can get you awareness. Can it get you trust? I don't know. So really and truly, if you want to do it right, you have both. You have short form and you have long form, and that's how they work well together.
I like the little flavour spin you put on that, because I was going to say it's like ordering from a menu, right? And your short form videos are your starters. So after your starters has to come your main. So like you say, always be front of mind on social media, posting new things so people can see you. And then when they go to engage with you, you've got longer form content which they can actually buy into.
And they can learn something from it. Exactly. Do you know what? That is exactly right. It's longer form content builds trust. It builds credibility. It provides you with a chance to be able to tell your story, right? And that's how we learn. You know, if you've listened to the podcast before, we learn through stories. So it's still a really valuable way of getting your message across, you know, about your product or your service. So that's very valuable. The short form content is the platform that can get you there, that gets you to that website, that gets you to that longer form content. So yeah, see it as almost like a door opening for them to understand you a little bit. But you should be doing both.
100% doing both. Yeah, it's interesting that they, like you say, you started on at the start of the podcast talking about how TikTok has kind of pushed everyone into the short form consumption of videos. But I guess it's what they've found for them. It's very hard for them to make a business case because they can't monetize that. If you're watching a 15-second video and you get a 5-second ad, it doesn't add up.
No.
If you're watching a 5-minute video and you get a 15-second ad, you're more likely to be like, yeah, I'll sit through this and carry on watching the video.
You can cope with it, right?
Yeah.
I just find it so interesting that the platforms have dictated the content that we produce, you know.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting one for me. And you know, we get so many clients go, I need to be on TikTok, and like, yeah, you probably do. You're probably not wrong there. But it's like, I need to only be doing 15 seconds because that's what I've heard. That my daughter tells me that she's on TikTok and she just watches 15-second videos. I can only do 15-second videos. And again, you know, say it for people at the back. What's your objective? What's your message? We'll worry about that later. We'll worry about the platforms, not later, but we'll consider the platforms. But it's more around the message that you're trying to communicate. That has to be your primary starting point.
Figure out what your message is first.
Figure out your objective.
And then depending on where it's going to go.
Am I trying to convert? Am I just trying to launch a product and it's brand awareness and I just need eyeballs? Then they'll get to the consideration stage and then we can go a little bit deeper and a little bit longer, right?
Yeah.
Where are we at? Where are we at in your business journey? Where are we at in your marketing journey? All of these things need to come first, okay? What I will say is that short form content can be, I guess, budget friendly in the sense that what you can do, and what we do for a lot of our clients is we go and we spend a day in their business and they might get 20 short form pieces of content from that. So might be a little bit of voiceover, might not, but it's, you know, visually demonstrating what that business does. That business then gets up to 6 months worth of content that they can push out.
Yeah.
Beautiful, aesthetic, relevant to what they're talking about. We still go through all the objectives at the top end, so we're not just producing stuff for producing sake. But it's a really good way of being able to deliver regular content, and we know that it's consistency with anything in regards to short form content. Like, you can't just post a video, 15-second video, and then not do anything for 2 months, right? It doesn't work like that. Not like the good old days where you create a beautiful branded television commercial, it'd go on TV, it could sit there for 4 months. You probably wouldn't even need to redo it for, you know, at least a year. Times have changed, so it's kind of like, we now need to be posting really, really regularly, and that's why short form content is good. So it absolutely has its benefits. We really advise doing it for our clients. It totally has a place, absolutely. You know, how cool is it that you can get 6 months worth of content from a one-day shoot that you can then push out on your socials, you know? Like, that's invaluable to clients, and I'm so glad that we can offer that service. Equally, don't forget your brand, your story, your connection, your audience, because when the platforms change, as they are, you know, they clearly are changing and they want people to be spending longer on these platforms and they want to increase the video length, well, then you're going to be having to go back to that brand story, right? So
100%.
Just don't let the platforms dictate too much about your strategy. Be mindful of them, be aware of them, but don't just fall mercy to them.
I think as well, when people consume your content, I think there's some crazy stat, like 97% of people that see your content online aren't ready to buy.
Yeah.
So people that are ready to buy, 3%, that's so small.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is, like you say, just always be front of mind with the short form content, being always there. And then when Gary needs to go get his car cleaned, he goes to your website, he can watch the video, he knows what you're about, knows what services you offer.
1,000%.
And then we're cooking.
He knows why, you know, Gary's like, oh, I need my car cleaned. Cool, I've seen all these short form ads, awesome. So I'm aware, I've got that awareness level, I know these people exist, but am I going to go with them? I click into the website, I've got a lovely cute little story about how he cleans the cars, why he cleans the cars, why his polish is better than everyone else's, how he's never scratched the car. He's never scratched a car in his entire life, honestly, never. But you don't know that from those ads, okay? You just know he exists, but that's that kind of consideration level. So again, do both, everyone. If there's one message that you learn from this podcast, it's you should be doing both. And like, you know, and every business is different. Every business has different objectives. That's why what we do is like very personalized. It's like very one-on-one, like sit down with us, talk about, you know, what you're trying to achieve, and we can help you weight, I suppose, the budget on whether you should be doing long form or short form.
Yeah, sweet. I think we're pretty much smash this one.
Yeah, I do too.
Got anything else?
I don't know. Let's have a look.
I've got one thing to say. Two things, actually. Or was it one thing? It could be the same thing.
Yeah.
Interesting news has come out, though, from the social media giants. Instagram is going to be bringing out a new feature called My Week. And what they're going to do is, instead of stories lasting 24 hours, they're going to last 7 days.
That is such a great idea.
So
I'll be watching those.
Yeah, so you'll be able to, I guess, craft more of a narrative over the course of a whole week. Say you do like a trip to Bali or something, if only, then you could put your whole week up and see it. You could watch all in succession instead of just being like, one day you're here, then 24 hours you're over there. You can actually get a story from all those 7 days. And actually X, or do we call it X? We just call it Twitter.
I don't know. I still call it Twitter, but yeah, X.
Yeah, they've started doing it as well.
Can I ask you a question?
Shoot.
What are the benefits of doing short form content in a nutshell?
Visibility, front of mind with your consumers. When your client or your customer is ready to make that purchase decision, they'll see your video, they'll remind themselves of you, and they're way more likely to go and check you out.
What are the benefits of long form content?
Well, long form, it's pretty self-explanatory, I think. You get to engage and educate your audience as to what you do, why you do it, who you are, what services and products you offer. Generally, when people watch that kind of video, they're already warmed up to you. They've already got an interest in what you sell or what service you provide. Yeah, I mean, I kind of fumble my way through those answers, but you're obviously going to have a more succinct answer. So Tash, you tell me, what are the benefits of short form content?
Okay, short form content, amazing for brand awareness. Really good if you want to get your product out there or your service. You can be really concise with your messaging, well, you have to be really concise with your messaging. So you've got 15 seconds or 30 seconds to get your point across, to get your product or your brand across. It can be budget friendly because you are shooting for a shorter duration. At the end of the day, it should be a window into your business. It should be a door that people can open to get a flavour of who you are, and then that can lead to long form content. So love short form content, gives a really cool flavour of who you are, your brand, your product, your service, what you do. But at the end of the day, it's a window into the rest of what you can offer.
See, told you, way better than what I was going to say.
Lastly, the platforms love it, don't they? We've got Reels, we've got Instagram, we've got TikTok. The platforms that we know are so popular, they provide functions to allow you to put up short form content. You can do trending Reels, they give you templates now. So those templates are only over 15 seconds. So they obviously like that type of content. So the platforms like it, people are on the platforms, they're going to see what you're doing.
And what are the benefits of long form content?
Long form content, my absolute favourite.
And don't make this a long answer though, because I know you could talk about it all day.
Okay, long form content, it really allows you to tell your story. We know about storytelling, that's how we learn. We've done that since the Middle Ages, before the Middle Ages, since the beginning of time. That's how we learn, and it allows you to tell your story really well. Google loves it. SEO loves long form content, okay? So if you've got that on your video, if you've got that on your website, you're going to improve higher in your rankings, okay? So it's another really good reason to have a brand story on your website, or any kind of long form content on the website, because you know that Google really likes it. It also allows it allows you to show your credibility and to build trust with people, because they can find out more information about you, right? It's not just 15 seconds, here I am. You can questions can get answered. They get an insight into you, into your business, and again, we build up that trust. People buy on trust, credibility, and emotion, and longer form content allows you to do that. So I'll say it for the 8th time this podcast, do both. Short form content is a window into your business. Long form content is going to get them to actually purchase from you.
Boom, mic drop, done. All right, that's us then, I think.
Hey, how good's it being back?
Nice.
Season 2.
Nice. Look,
Woohoo.
I was a little bit nervous at the start, but I'm warming into it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, stay tuned for the next episode.
See ya.
I know shorty and she doesn't want no slow song.